Greetings and welcome to Talk a Little, Learn a Lot, the American Society of Naval Engineers podcast. I am your host, Stephen Phillips. In this podcast, we talk a little and learn a lot about naval engineering while inspiring the next generation of STEM professionals. Today, I'm joined by Captain John Markowicz, U.S. Navy retired, the ASNE San Diego Section Chair, to learn more about him and his vision for ASNE. John, thank you for joining me today on the podcast.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for this opportunity to, engage with you and speak to our listeners. A little bit about myself. Like you said, retired Navy. Spent my career in the Navy in and around naval engineering. Was a engineering duty officer and a surface warfare officer. Really enjoyed ASNE being a part of my career, and look forward to being the new section chair for the San Diego section. As currently work in and around the naval engineering community at my current role as a defense contractor, and I look forward to addressing your questions and giving something to the readers to think about.
John, when did you first realize that you had a passion or affinity for naval engineering?
Oh, that goes back to growing up. So part of my background is being a Navy dependent. My dad was a submariner, and I grew up in and around the submarine force, and dad was a nuclear trained submariner, so I always really had an affinity to all things technical. It shaped my outlook as an engineer. So I went off to college and became a mechanical engineer, joined the Navy through ROTC, and gravitated towards the engineering department as a young junior officer, and really got involved with the naval engineering at the deck plate level. Went on to grad school, became an engineering duty officer, and just grew from there. I mean, got involved with ASNE right from the start. As a graduate of the engineering duty officer school curriculum, we joined ASNE from like day one of being an EDO, and it's mushroomed from there.
Which ships did you serve on?
Oh, my first ship was USS Elliot, a Spruance class destroyer, and 3 years of engineering department efforts really shaped my background as a naval engineer. Love gas turbines. Went on from there to eventually serve on board USS Carl Vinson as the chief engineer, owning from stem to stern, all things engineering department wise, and great tour. We spend most of our time or nearly all my time with the refueling overhaul of that ship. So breathing back in another 25 years of service to a nuclear aircraft carrier was awesome.
I did my youngster cruise on USS Elliot.
Oh, wow.
And summer of '89, I guess. I was a third class midshipman. And then my brother was a division officer on Elliot. He was gunnery officer, 96, 98.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I served on board from 93 to late 96. Yeah, that was my time frame. I don't think we crossed paths. Yeah.
Right in between us. He probably checked on board right as you were leaving, after because he had to do SWAS first, of course.
Yep. Yep.
Well, what do you like about ASNE?
Oh, lots of things. I mostly like the opportunity to share experience with other, naval engineering professionals, whether they're active duty, government civilians, or other industry experts. Really just enjoy getting out, being around like-minded professionals in the naval engineering business.
What ASNE events have you participated in, and do you have any favorites?
So I guess my favorite would be anything local. So our section events have been pretty engaging. I've participated with our section in San Diego since retiring in 2020, and it's been 4 years of fun with Glenn Hoford as the section lead, and I initially volunteered as the programming chair. So any anything that we did with people like ship tours on Carl Vinson, or speaking events with the local Navy leadership, or paper presentations by one of our members. Those local events have been just been real fun to participate in. But I've also recently participated in Mega Rust, great ASNE event, and then our signature event here in San Diego every alternating year is Fleet Maintenance and Modernization Symposium, FMMS. Just a real capstone event for us here in San Diego.
What changes would you like to see for ASNE?
I think we need to continue to align to our members' interests. So those are constantly changing, right? Because the world of naval engineering so dynamic. But I think more of the um, alignment to members' interests to podcasts like this, or more electronic content, I'll call it, right? I really look forward to seeing my ASNE smart brief in my email, and getting an injection of articles that are tailored towards my interests, which in and around the U.S. Navy mostly, but it pulls in all sorts of discussion. So I really appreciate the push for electronic media, social media, and I think we should do more of that. And I would love to inspire our local chapter to be able to do what headquarters is pushing out.
What aspects or elements of ASNE do you want to preserve?
But I think we need to stay you know true to our core. So as we use social media, line to new delivery methods, I think we just need to stick to what ASNE has brought to our membership, right? Which is technical content in and around naval engineering. And like I said, that's always evolving, and there's no lack of topics to bring out and push towards our members, and pull from them too on the social media front. Get members engaged there on the right level, for sharing technical content in and around naval engineering.
What are the key challenges that naval engineering is facing?
Oh, they're numerous. As I thought about this podcast, I think two really strike me on a regular basis. So, go about my day job, and what I read, and whether it's NEJ or any of our social media. So two challenges as the Navy evolves, U.S. Navy evolves. I think we need to get our heads wrapped around unmanned vehicles and their naval applications. How how best are we going to build these machines, right? Whether they're air, surface, or subsurface machines. How are we going to, how are they going to be controlled and used for autonomous purposes? And then, from the naval engineer and me, how how best are we going to maintain and modernize these machines? I think in that area, a lot of remote technology is going to be employed um, to effectively, be able to use them in a naval um, warfare environment. And then the second big challenge, it's no surprise to anyone in around um, the Navy business is how are we going to improve the capacity and capability of our naval shipyards. This has just been ongoing for like ever since I stepped off as a SWO, right? Elliot went right into the shipyard. When I was on Carl Vinson, we were doing, the midlife overhaul. Always challenges with cost, schedule, quality of work being done in our naval shipyards, whether public or private. Um, but I think in the most recent past, it's gotten really challenging. I mean, certainly the COVID pandemic didn't make it easy on us to perform at the level we need to. But now that we're mostly through that, how do we get back to delivering ships on time with the right quality, um, at a cost that the nation can afford? This is a huge challenge for us, and I think you know as ASNE can be a platform to address challenges in naval engineering. I think the discussion about shipyard facilities, shipyard labor, um, and then their overall performance needs to be part of the ASNE focus.
This is a similar question. What do you see as opportunities for investment in naval engineering?
Yeah, for the unmanned piece, I think it's investments that promote remote monitoring, right? So whether it's you know CBM plus, um, whatever you would like to call it, I think the investments in reliable sensor technologies for the data acquisition of our remote systems, data science to turn data into information. And then even, I'll mention it, artificial intelligence to help analyze all this data collected and, bring information to decision makers to present options for addressing, maintenance and modernization concerns. So, any investment that you can make there in um, operating and maintaining unmanned systems would really go a long way. And then for the naval shipyards, it's the investments in the shipyard improvement planning, going after investments in improving the capability of our shipyards. I'll give you an example. Technologies in cold spray or additive manufacturing, I think, are justified. And then, investments in additional labor, which means, more training for the naval shipyards, more training for our supervisors there to do a better job, supervising that labor. And then just getting after the capital investments of for example, Pearl Harbor, where I served as a first tour engineering duty officer. They're building Dry Dock 5 there. I mean, those issues of additional capacity at a shipyard through our facilities and workforce need to be addressed.
John, do you have a favorite engineering sea story for the ASNE audience?
Yeah, it makes me think of the time as a young lieutenant on board USS Elliot. We were participating in a in-serve uh, board's material inspection off the coast of San Diego, and just how fragile your material condition can be, and how important it is to get maintenance right. We were performing our full speed trial, and we did a crashback as designed, right? So lots of vibrations in the aft end of the ship caused a poorly designed or poorly maintained fuel valve to quickly close and shut off the fuel supply to our electric generator. And we immediately proceeded to uh, lose all electrical on board and floating around off the San Clemente without any kind of power. So we quickly, reestablished our generator lineup, and unfortunately, though, it was a cascading casualty that in the 2 months before deployment, we had to completely tear apart the main reduction gear and replace a bearing that got wiped when the electric lube oil pump couldn't keep up with the flow of lube oil to the reduction gear. So not a very timely set of damages caused to the ship, but from it learned how powerful the NAVSEA and naval engineering community could be. Inside of 3 months, we replaced the bearing, fixed everything back aft where the generator was not properly maintained, and got on with the deployment on time, and went around the world, deployed to the Arabian Sea, and hit Australia on the way home. So happy conclusion to a very nasty casualty, and one that like cemented to me how important naval engineering is. So there's my sea story for you today.
It's interesting. It shows the importance of in-serve, and then it shows the importance of all of those elements that come together to help you get ready for deployment. So yeah, I really enjoyed that story.
Hmm.
John, is there anything else that you would like to share with the ASNE audience?
Yeah, I just an urgent plea to get out and participate this year in 2025. Get out and volunteer with your local chapter, your local section, and participate. ASNE is like any other organization or machine. You got to add energy to it to make it work. So that is my plea to our local members and all our members listening out there. Get out and participate in 2025 and pour your energy into it.
Thank you, then, Captain John Markowicz, for taking this time to discuss your view of ASNE, thoughts on its future, and the state of naval engineering. And I even enjoyed that sea story. I hope that we can welcome you again back to Talk a Little, Learn a Lot, the podcast of the American Society of Naval Engineers.
Thanks, Stephen. I really enjoyed this opportunity. Appreciate it.